The growing trend of carnage on our roads has attracted calls from road users for the reintroduction of the mandatory towing levy, which was scrapped sometime in August 2017. Now, that was a few weeks after it had been introduced. The motorists, mostly drivers at the Achimota lorry station, say apart from the need to dualize the roads, broken down vehicles which are parked on the shoulders of the roads and sometimes even in the middle of the roads must be towed to avoid collision.
Road
that
break down
vehicles, and at times where the actual accident spots happens is vehicles pass by the side of the roads loading and break down vehicles. In case this
the towing system
that was brought up some time ago from former President John Ajekunkufo's time, and things have gone on well. And we are paying this maybe our 20 cedis in addition to our roadworthy, and there's a breakdown and you give a call, definitely they will come and tow the vehicle by the roadside or on the road. It is in place. For instance, the hotspots between Teacher Mante and Chichire, that's normally...
Chichire is the place we had the accident yesterday.
Yeah, and Chichire, we've lost a driver there, where there was a mechanical fault from a vehicle from Accra going to Kumasi. And our driver was coming from Mampong. He saw the vehicle coming upon him, so he tried to swerve, but there were parked vehicles beside. So he couldn't go off the road for the vehicle and he had to lose his life.
Why na dauruma so be no double road kura mayene a na takrotas for no nkunu ye lame na ja yan susun kitinkiti ni anso yankunu ye lame anka bebo papa why ya manu susa esa na nyanka na doso so we wiase nso ya den sika sem ne nyama mti aba no moaye e wo kwai na sem ho why.
So she's telling me that there is a situation of the road, essentially talking about the road not being a dual carriage, but that particular Eastern Corridor road, has been in the books for long, and she's complaining about the head-on collisions, which as a result of the fact that the roads are not dualized, and so you just run into a forthcoming vehicle most of the time.
Yeah, no more kasapa. Obu o ka chense. Onto no bokra na ne buafu. Nti bebre minim de ha o mo nti o mo yesa. Nti yesra ban. So o mo ye ya awofu yi ne abatanfo. O mo ye pa. Ne bibia anya yie. Yesra na ni diem. Yesra pa so onya kwan ne yie mayen.
A problem pa because so we study as Saturdays ni Fridays. Se car sesi kwamu a enkodo anwene ka abom. Se sade no so nkomutimi buaye na se itimi sade ni free one ma beboa. Se car say ya na betwe free ho. Say never change free one man. And they are starting there. Oh yeah, and become was but a dura be a betiasi. Now it's just a tour the crana, fato wink and I'd be to cast no free come my babua. It's
a moped towing.
Wapa
and also beboa. But I am more munya botra kwanso.
Oh, but the station there, oh the Ubusa Ubia station there. A shamras in the time be careful. Careful.
I'm Pamela being fan to home because a Milana driver for home driving no huntino. Omutimi yet the Mupebia strong. Call what come no ya call overtaking and who here over speeding. What I want ye women about family being to drivers for no I'm so many lives.
Yes, Rabbi so near driver for no kasa. Or do baby a photo no one on to the boko assume dream. And just say yeah, nam kwaso kwa ne yom chichi yayi. Ya ma ya busia ene ye kunonom ayam chichi nko na de namo.
So really passionate appeal coming from some road users there. While some want the reintroduction of the mandatory towing levy, others are asking for some stringent laws so that drivers who overspeed and do unnecessary overtaking will be punished. The last lady who spoke is more concerned about potholes and how drivers just drive into it. And she says that she's really concerned as a mother for her kids anytime she's on the roads, fearing her life. We've been joined by Cecil Gabra, road transport consultant, live via phone this time. Thank you so much for joining the program, sir. Let's start off with the concerns raised by these road users. They want the reintroduction of the mandatory towing levy. I remember at the time there were calls for it to be scrapped. Others called for a modification of it. It's been about 3 years now, and we really haven't heard anything. What's your take, sir?
Well, thank you so much, Manish. But the trouble that we have is not to do with towing vehicles. The main trouble of accidents, which is escalating, is the issue on the person driving, okay? And it is on speed, okay? The faster the vehicle, the much likelihood that many people will die. For example, for vehicle occupants in a crash with an impact speed of 80 kilometers per hour, the likelihood of death is 20 times that it will have been an impact speed of 30 kilometers per hour. So I don't really agree on the issue of towing of vehicles. But the main thing, Ben, is rather speed. If we can be able to control speed in this country, okay, we have the normal speed limits. If you look at the LI 210, it's so clearly to tell you that, look, if you're driving in a built-in area, 50 kilometers. If you're driving on the highway, 80 kilometers. If you're driving on the motorway, 100 kilometers. But all of these speed limits are not working. And now who is there to check it is the major issue, right? I always say that our problem is enforcement. We can educate the driver, but then if he hits the Cape Coast roads, then he finds out that, oh, there is no policeman. I mean, he takes that advantage to say, come on, let me test my vehicle. But then if you go back again to the law, Regulation 135 of the LI 210, specifically talks about the installation of speed limiters and tachographs, as well as the use of logbooks. Are the laws working? No, Ben, they are not working. For instance, the tachograph is a device fitted to a vehicle that automatically records its speed and distance, together with the driver's activities selected from a choice of modes. Is he sleeping? Has he taken any alcohol? These are the issues that we need to look at. Others are talking about dualization. Fine, that could reduce head-on collisions. But if the driver is drunk and the driver is a recalcitrant driver, that is not going to help. Okay. So I do believe strongly that the issue is for us to look at speed management in this country. Okay. And that will go a longer way to reduce the road crashes on the road.
So you've spoken about devices that can measure the speed and they limit the driver. So if I get you right, what it means is that if the driver is going beyond a certain speed, the car won't move or it won't go beyond it.
Precisely, Bernice. Companies running fleets of buses and heavy-duty vehicles must compulsorily install trackers that can even reduce speed on buses and trucks. I'm also calling for speedometer readings that it should be extended to the passenger instead of the television set that they look out. They should rather have boldly the speed limit. So if the driver is misbehaving, look, by consensus, everybody will say,
but Mr. Gabra, yes, I know. I have sat in a vehicle before and we tried cautioning the driver, and he's the one behind the wheels anyway. So it's really left to him to decide whether he's going to listen to the concerns being raised by the passengers. We just heard some of the road users complain about that. But I want us to discuss an issue of big trucks on our roads. Just this morning, I witnessed a near-fatal accident around the Paloma area. And there was a truck coming with a container behind it. What happened was that there was a passenger vehicle, a trotro in front of him. The traffic light had turned red, and this trotro was obeying the traffic light or stopping. But the speed with which the truck was coming, it was impossible for him to stop. So he started tooting his horn. The driver in front wasn't paying attention to what was happening behind him. So the truck was just coming. It had to take the intervention of the person on the right-hand lane to give the truck space so he could Mienda, he stopped at the next traffic light, which is almost close to the SSB Bank, if you know that ring road route very well. So people are concerned that there are too many trucks on our roads. The Chichere accident involved a cargo truck. Should we find a better way to cart our cargo instead of allowing them on the roads?
Well, that is also another issue that we have, okay? These trucks, for instance, right, if you could remember, Ben, some years back, we had a 6 o'clock regulations, okay? For instance, during those days, okay, 6 p.m., all of them were restricted not to move at all. Unfortunately, because of the ECOWAS laws, which supersedes all our restrictions, they have been allowed to move at dawn again. However, but in your case, this happened during the daytime. Okay?
Exactly.
And the issue that I will ask first of all is that are those vehicles, those big trucks, worthy on our roads? Most of them are not really qualified to be on our roads. If you pick up ties, for instance, I mean, I go around checking on all those things, and then you will realize that most of them, for instance, the tie tread limit must not be lower than 1.6 millimeters. Okay, that's this tread. But, I mean, do they really care? Some of them are using retreaded ties and so on on our roads.
They don't even have functioning lights sometimes.
Yes, so it comes back to the issue on enforcement. I mean, we need a police task force that should include DVLA officials, National Road Safety Commission, and other stakeholders. So by this situation, you cannot bribe any of them. All what you need to do, they need to do is that when they catch you straight, they should prosecute you, and you must be fined for instance.
Okay.
I mean, it's all about enforcement. If we enforce the laws properly, everything will work smoothly in this country.
All right, before I let you go, Mr. Gabra, quickly, before I let you go, do you have anything to share for us once we have these trucks still on our roads? For those who use smaller vehicles, how do we manage around them? Just quickly, some tips for our audience so we can all stay alive.
Well, if you see a big truck, first of all, if you're driving a saloon vehicle, you should know that the person driving a big truck is also scared of any accident. So, one, don't be scared. If you're overtaking, just overtake smoothly, okay? And then, always, at traffic lights, I tell people, like, for instance, what happened this morning, we are at the traffic light, and then you have to really use what we call the mirror signal maneuvering laws in driving, that's the MSM. If you look around you and the past is coming or this truck is coming, my dear, don't stay there. Move forward. If he's tooting his horn, then he's warning you that I have a problem, keep on going. Ignore the red light and move forward and the truck coming to hit you, right? The police will see it, but those issues are not really issues that the police will arrest you.
I really appreciate your time and advice this morning. Cecil Gabra is a road transport consultant, and we've been talking about road safety on our road.